Okay, she be gone every single night. Day and night on my mind, pushing a cute vibe.
How's it going, everybody? This is Tom Driver. Hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so obviously everybody wants to have their own dream job, a job where they have thought about all their lives, whether it's in media, where I am, or in marketing, or maybe even working in engineering, or maybe just in some sort of retail environment and stuff like that, though I wouldn't recommend that. But they always want their dream job, and then they go for a few years and decide that, they want to try something new. And they decide that, they're going to try to search for another place that they can work at, and hopefully they can get a fresh new start there, take some of the skills that they learned from their previous job, and utilize that to their advantage for when they start their new job. Well, usually back in the past, it would be a little bit of a long time before they would be able to try to do something like that. Not in this era today, though. Nowadays, there is job hopping, and it is starting to become a new norm here when it comes to the field of job hunting. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of job hunting. I'm going to give you 3 pros along with 3 cons and my overall thoughts on job hopping overall, because this is starting to become a very common thing with people in generations like mine. But there are some real risks in regards to doing this, and if you're going to become a job hopper, you need to understand the risks that you are taking if you're going to decide to do this. So I'm going to explain a little bit about that here in this video today. So over in the last few years, job hopping has started to become very popular with both millennials and in Gen Z. And for those that don't know what it is, job hopping is basically when you stay at a job for a short amount of time, like whether it's 18 months or 2 years at the very most, and they decide that, they've built enough experience, they got enough skills and all that stuff, and then somewhere in their mind, they see that leaderboard up ahead, and they see that they feel like that they're not going to get an opportunity at a promotion or a raise anytime soon at their current company. Or they decide they just want to move on and try something new. Well, after those 18 to 24 months, they then decide that they're going to go ahead and apply for another position and ultimately start working at that company and try to get more experience and also some new skills over at that particular area. As I said before, this is starting to become very popular with today's generation. There are a lot more people now that are job hopping than ever before. It was not like that back in the early days when it comes to trying to find a job back in the late 20th century or something like that. But there are some real risks that come with it. However, there are also some benefits as well when it comes to that, and that's where it gets into the pros. Job hopping can be a real benefit for a few reasons, and a lot of that can be for potential career growth. And that's really the first pro that I want to talk about here. Here, you get the opportunity to do something new. It's obviously some more opportunities to try to be able to take all the skills that you had learned from your prior job and utilize that to your advantage into another job area. Like let's say you were in a coordinator position when you were in that position in 2 years. Well, if you end up in a new area of work, you could potentially be a manager. So if it's in the same field, you could possibly utilize some of those skills from that old job, and you can apply that to the manager job, start trying to learn how to lead your own group, lead your own team, and also just build some new skills to go along with that. Try to find new ways to be able to utilize what you learned from that past job and apply it here to your new area. It can be a benefit because it allows you to step out of your comfort zone. There are some people that decide they want to try a job hop in changing careers as well. There may be some people that decide that they want to try something new as a result. And that's where, they may try to switch careers after a couple years or something like that. And hey, it's an opportunity to step out of what you know and try to find something new that you think could be to your benefit. And so that's obviously something that, job hoppers usually tend to do, because they want to always try to find new ways to build up their knowledge and try to learn exactly where their place is in their particular field. And I can understand that, there are some people that are not content with staying with one area or field for a very long time. So, that's exactly where job hopping comes in, obviously. So most people, they always want to try to branch out, be a multitasker, and try to become their own kind of leader or something like that. And so by job hopping, not only stepping out of their comfort zone, they're always finding the skills to learn something new. And so obviously, this can be a major benefit for some of those people. Another pro that comes along with this is a higher salary. Now obviously, money is extremely important when you're working at a job. Whenever you're starting out in an entry-level position, you're not going to get a whole lot of pay, and you're only going to go for a very few amount of years before you can finally be able to get that raise that you're asking for, maybe even a promotion or something like that. Everybody starts out small, but ultimately they work their way up before they're able to get to where they really want to be. But sometimes, you just don't get that with your salary at your current job. There are some people that have been in a coordinator position for 4 or 5 years at one particular company, and yet they were never able to get that raise that they were looking for, never get the opportunity to get that extra money, so that way they can pay for everything that's going on at home. And sometimes that just leads to real frustration with some of those people. And that's another reason for job hunting. Some people, they just want a higher pay, and unfortunately they don't feel like that they're getting it with their current job. This could be a benefit, because if you job hop to another company and you actually get a better pay than you're getting from the previous one, that could potentially play out in your favor. That can allow you to be a little more motivated, work for that pay, work to be able to get that money in your bank at the end of the day, so that way you can pay for groceries, pay for your home or your rent, wherever you live, and just be able to afford life. And so, it's really important that in today's era, if you're going to have a job, you need to have a respectable pay that allows you to pay for everything at home. Trust me, as a coordinator, I know that my salary starts very low, but obviously as I work my way up, just like everybody else in my area will, obviously you're going to get more opportunities at a raise. However, sometimes, the only way you can get it is if you move to another company. And so, obviously for some of those people, that's where it may seem most specific, but it can be a benefit if you strike it at the right time. And really, I think the most important pro is that there are a whole lot better opportunities. As I mentioned before, if you were in a coordinator position for so long, like for 2 or 3 years, and you decide that you want a new opportunity, but in the leaderboard, there's literally nothing open. Every spot that you want to get, even a manager position, is already filled. And so really, it could take a very long time, or maybe something even dramatic for you, before you finally are able to get that promotion up into a new level. And as I said before, that's where job hopping comes in. Some people, they just want better opportunities, and they don't feel like that they are getting it with their current company. And so, if you're in a coordinator position and yet they decide that they are ready for a manager position and they don't see that opportunity at their area of field right now where they can get that, that's where they may begin to search for a brand new area or a brand new place that they can work at. Because if they can apply for that and they get a manager position within 2 years after they start their first job, then hey, good for them. They can go ahead and move on over, get that higher pay, get that manager position, or even a higher position like a director or a VP position or something like that, and they're good to go. They're able to get that experience, lead their own team, become their own leader, and basically make their mark in their particular field. And those opportunities are endless. You get to meet new employees, you get to make a lot more friends during this time, you get to obviously learn something new, and most importantly, you get to have a lot of fun doing so. And although it may get a little bit tiring after once in a while, if you job hop into a higher position in a new field, obviously there are a lot more opportunities to be able to expand your growth, and not only that, have a lot of fun doing so. Trust me, there are a lot of people that I know that have been able to go through one position for only at least 18 months or fewer or something like that, and yet they were able to go to another position and get into a higher level position like a manager or a director position or something like that, and meet so many new people that have become so beneficial in their lives. Job hopping can be a benefit for those reasons, but if they do it right, hey, they may be able to get so many opportunities like all of that they might find a lot more success in that particular area than they think. But as I said before, job hopping is very, very controversial as well, particularly with today's modern day era, because of all of the risks. And that's where all the cons come in. Look, job hopping may be a benefit for those that want to pursue a new area or a new opportunity to get a promotion or a higher raise or something like that, but job hopping can come with a lot of risks, and that can really affect the future along with the resume of their particular career. And so that's where the problems start to lie in. And the first of which is that you have to learn to start over. If you're in a new position at a new era after only a couple of years, you have to learn right away something new. You're not going to have a whole lot of time to be able to try to figure everything out, because there's a chance that that new place that you're going in is going to be a lot different, or maybe similar but in a different way than where you were previously coming from. Take it for retail, obviously. Let's say for a few months you were working in retail at ShopRite, like you were working at a cashier. How you're not satisfied with that, and you decide that you want to want to go to an area field where you decide you just want to become a marketing coordinator or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it was really impossible to jump from retail to coordinator that fast, obviously, at a higher level area like I'm working at. But hey, if that were to possibly happen, there's not a whole lot of time for you to be able to get everything ready to go, because once you step in, they're expecting you to get yourself prepared and ready to roll within a short amount of time. As a result, it's completely new. You know, you have to learn how to make friends with some of your colleagues again. You also have to learn the new ropes as well, and more importantly, you have to learn everything that you perhaps had known before, but in reality you actually don't. And so while job hopping may be good to find new opportunities, it means that you have to learn to do everything that you already knew over and over and over again. And sometimes that can get very tiring after a while. Which leads to the next con. It means not a whole lot of time to learn new skills, obviously, because as I've said before, once you step in, you're expected to get going right away. When I stepped in as a marketing production coordinator at New Jersey Zipping, you know, I was only given a short amount of time, though. They tried everything they can to help me to be able to learn everything in a short amount of time, and fortunately it worked out, because, you know, I was able to learn everything new when it comes to, you know, like emails and website production and all that stuff, and obviously I've become a major contributor to New Jersey Symphony since. And so obviously there are some people that have job hopped into a new area and have been able to figure things out very quickly. But the same cannot be said for a majority of other people that have done that, however, you know. Whenever you're stepping in, you have to learn something new and very, very quick, because there could be a major event on the horizon that they're expecting you to become a contributor of, or there's a lot of other things that are happening in the company that they expect you to help out very fast. And sometimes when you're stepping in there, you have no idea exactly what you're getting yourself into. That can lead to a lot of fatigue and a lot of frustration, and as a result, it just becomes so much harder for those people to be able to figure out exactly what they're going to do. And sometimes they just crack under the pressure, and unfortunately they either end up getting fired after a short amount of time, or once again they decide that they just had enough of it, they really don't like where they're at, and they decide to job hop into another area or just quit altogether. The possibilities of disaster here are endless in regards to having to learn everything all over again. It's good to get new skills, obviously, it's good to learn new things, but unfortunately once you step in and you're continuously job hopping, unfortunately you're having to do the same thing over and over again, and sometimes you may get too much in return as a result, and sometimes that can be a big problem for those that are job hopping. However, for those that are job hopping, there's no bigger risk in doing that than potentially negatively affecting your future in your career. You know, there are a lot of people, as I said before, job hopping is a major benefit for them because they can get those new opportunities. However, I should warn everybody, the more that you do this, the more and more likely that it's going to hurt your future, and it can hurt you in ways that you may never even think. Yes, employers are always looking for new blood, obviously, at their areas, you know. They're looking for those that have passion, those that have a lot of experience, those that have a lot of skills, and they are looking for those kinds of people. But at the same time, they also look at how long that they have been at those previous companies, you know. They're always looking for those that have actually stayed enough. And again, there's usually no real estimation of how long they expect somebody to be at that particular position, but they look at that, at their resumes whenever they are applying for a new position, because that can play a critical role when it comes to the hiring process. So the amount of time that you spend at a particular job is going to be very, very important. And if you're later on in life, whenever you're job hopping to another area and try to find another position, they're going to look at your resume, and if they see that you have multiple areas where you have at least less than 18 months or so at a particular area, that's going to be a huge red flag, because you want to know what's going to make the manager think of you? It's going to make you think that you're probably not going to last very long at your particular area. And that's why hiring managers might stay away from you, keep you from having that position, because they look at your resume and they see after maybe 18 months you're probably once again going to begin searching for a new area of work, and as a result it can make a good opportunity to hire someone and make them a contributor to their company wasted, and that's not something that would be in the best interest of that particular company. Trust me, I have seen a lot of people, particularly in their later age in their life, where they are job hopping, they've got multiple jobs where they've had either 18 or 24 months of experience, and they then began being rejected rejected later on in life because they were continuously job hopping, and because of that, hiring managers, they just saw that they did not think they were going to have a stable future at that particular area. So for those that are job hopping, be very, very careful, because if you're continuously doing it, chances are hiring managers are going to take notice, and it's not going to be very good for your future prospects. Now, obviously, job hopping is very, very popular today. You know, obviously, almost everybody in regards to my generation, along with some millennials, are doing it. I mean, obviously, the main duration that you want to be at a particular area is at least 2 to 3 years. You know, if you're there for that amount of duration, then hey, that can be good enough for you to be able to find a new area of work or find a new job with a better opportunity without the risk of potentially being rejected. If you're not getting those opportunities that you want at your current area, and more importantly, you're not getting those opportunities to be able to expand at where you're at right now and be able to build on your future. So mostly in my particular desperation, 2 to 3 years is mostly the way to go. But there have been some that have been able to find success in their areas after only 18 months at a particular job. Take with me, I mean, I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos, my life update video, that there are a couple friends at the Philadelphia Orchestra that I want to work with, you know, that were previously with New Jersey Symphony, and I want to be able to get to work with them. However, I'm not going to take that risk of jumping there right away, because as I said before, you know, if you're only there for a short amount of time, you're not going to be able to last very long at another area. So that's why I'm waiting till I at least hit 2 to 3 years, because I know once I hit that time duration, that's when I know that that's the opportune time for me to be able to try to find a new place to work with a better opportunity if I see that I'm not getting that particular opportunity that I really want to get. So that's why, you know, yes, I would like to work with Philadelphia Orchestra in the near future. I really like for that opportunity to get to be with a couple of my friends there again, but I'm not going to jump the gun too early, because otherwise it's going to be a major problem. So yeah, I'm looking at my options very carefully, but I'm not going to take that risk very early, because, you know, if you go before the end of 2 years, then obviously you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you keep doing that later on. But again, the possibilities of disaster or even success, there are endless for job hoppers. You know, it all depends on if you strike the course perfectly or if you end up crashing and burning. Job hopping has become particularly popular nowadays, because back in the past, you could possibly last at one company for almost your entire life. Not in today's era now. If you're going to find success at your company, you're probably going to have to switch companies and switch jobs almost every 2, 3, maybe even 4 years or something like that. It's really the norm now in regards to today's job market, and that's something that we all have to adapt to. So my take on job hopping overall is, if you are going to do it, then be mindful of the risks that you are taking if you are continuously doing it. Yes, there are multiple opportunities to find new experience, new roles, new salary, higher pay, and more importantly, you know, just that opportunity to really build on your knowledge and skills of a particular area if you continuously do it. So if you're going to do it, just be mindful that if you keep doing it, hiring managers are going to take notice, and there's a possibility that you are going to be rejected for future jobs, because you can't stay at a company for at the very least 18 to 24 months. It's ultimately going to become the norm in the future. Almost everybody will likely do it in a few years or something like that. I don't know. But here's the thing. Job hopping has become a very popular technique here with today's generation. And pretty soon, a lot of other people are going to take notice. And ultimately, hiring managers may have no choice but to ultimately accept that and make that the norm in the future job market. But right now, if you're going to do it, there may be opportunities for you to be able to find success. However, at the same time, there could be a possibility that you may end up falling out of favor with future hiring managers because you can't stay at a company for very long. So yes, job hopping is fun, and if you want to do it, go for it. You might be able to find success, but keep in mind, you may be affecting your future if you decided to partake in something like this. So with that being said, my question to all of you is, are you a job hopper in particular? You know, like, how was your experience job hopping? And more importantly, what was it like? And would you recommend it to anyone that wants to find new opportunities? Feel free to let me know down in the comments, and I'll be more than interested in hearing your opinion about it. Anyways, that's going to do it for another video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's vlogs, projects, and challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for another midweek upload. I hope you're having another great day. And as always, I hope to see all of you again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.